tell a few stories that I experienced with football and what he meant to me and what I know he meant to the family. Eford Joseph Gidry. The first time I knew his middle name was whenever I saw it on the street. Reggie walked up to me and told me he thought his middle name was Baday. That's how you saw it on the bus, though. Eford, in quotations, Baday Gidry. So I guess that's where we got it from. Most of you here know him as Baday. For the lucky ones, we knew him as Dad. I knew him as Papa and all his grandchildren. 3 things I learned from Papa that I would like to take and carry with me throughout life, and if I could practice it, it'd make me a better person. Whenever it came to Papa, he always put family first. No matter what he was doing, if he was working or if he was, it didn't matter. If you called him, he really took family first, and his ability to bring family together. We all know about Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch, I call it dinner, but he managed to get his whole immediate family, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, every day at his house, 12 o'clock on Sunday, and eat lunch together every Sunday for 30 years, as long as I was alive. The second thing he showed me was hard work. He worked hard all his life. No matter what he was doing, I had the pleasure of working with him a little bit whenever I was in high school and also in college, and he showed me that I needed to work a little harder because in his 70s he made a 19-year-old look small. Also, his demeanor is one thing that I really like about him. I'm a nervous person. I talk loud, I holler whenever I talk. Paul was always even keel. He never seemed flustered. He was always relaxed. No matter what he did, he took his time. Whenever he was cooking, driving, washing houses, he would whistle. You know, and if anybody else has been around him, you know exactly what whistle it is. It is. And it didn't matter what he was doing. He was always whistling and never seemed to get angry, never seemed to get nervous. Couldn't shake him up. So with that, I'd like to tell a few stories. I think me and Paul were 2 peas in a pod, match made in heaven. He loved to cook, I love to eat. I like to talk, he liked to listen. But whenever I was very young, you know, from a very young age, I knew I was special. I was Patsy and Baday's grandson. Whenever I was in middle school at Armstrong, he worked every day, and he found the time to come sign me out almost every day at school. I guess whenever I was in middle school, I had a very high metabolism, or Armstrong didn't have good bathrooms, but he would sign me out every day, and I knew I was special. Paul would come over the intercom, Chris Daigle to the office, to sign out, please. And as I'm walking out, chest held high, all the kids are like, God dang it, Chris gets to sign out again. Where's he going? Who signs him out every day? And it was Mamal Papa. I would get to the office, and the office personnel sitting there looking at me, and they would say, where do you go every day? I mean, do you think you're special? No other kids do. And I was special. I was Baday and Patsy's grandson. So we would jump in the truck and we would head down there, and like I said, his demeanor was nice and relaxed, and if you ever drove with him, he always drove a standard. He didn't have a first and a third gear, he started in second. And you would stutter until you barely get enough juice to get to third. You would press the clutch, you'd drop it in fourth gear, but it didn't hold it. You would just get on down the road. As soon as he would hit 35 and he thought he was going too fast, he would abruptly let off the gas. So we'd jump in the truck and head that way, and some days I felt like just looking at him and say, hey, Paul, you think you know a little quicker tune with that whistle? You think you speed it up a little bit, because it was always that same one. But I grew up a little bit, and I got to high school, and my junior year, I broke my leg, and I guess it was probably over Sunday lunch, I looked at my ball and told him it was a little trouble with crutches going through the line, trying to hold my tray and everything, so that's not a problem. They're going to bring me lunch every day. They're going to pull up in the parking lot. I'll walk out and get it. Grab lunch, a home-cooked meal with 2 cold Dr. Peppers, and I would walk back through, and everybody's standing in line to go to lunch in the cafeteria, and I got this big plate of hot food. I would go and eat it. Well, after 6 weeks, whenever the leg was healed, The food didn't stop. Can't go back to the cafeteria. And they brought it every day my junior and senior year. I would walk to the parking lot, grab a hot plate of food, 2 cold Dr. Peppers, and go eat it. And everybody was jealous. I would pass by with the food. Who does this guy think he is? Well, we had a new principal my senior year, and I walk into the parking lot, and Paul's there. I sit in the truck and grab a bite to eat, drink my Dr. Peppers, go about my business, and as I'm walking out, the principal walks up to me and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just got finished having a pretty good lunch." She says, "Well, you need to be like every other kid that comes here. If you need to bring lunch, you're going to have to bring it in the morning. You can't just have somebody bring you lunch every day." And she asked me the question again, "Who do you think you are? Do you think you're special?" And I was like, "Yes, I am special. I am." That's his grandson. I still think to the day she was just jealous of me. Well, after high school, I went to college, and let me find my place. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, after high school, went to college, and like I said, whenever I first started, I was broke, and Papa let me work with him, wash houses and everything. And I worked with him, and as I said previously, I was 19, 20 years old, and he was 74, 75, and he worked me in the ground every day. I couldn't keep up. But one day he comes up to me and he asks me, he says, "Hey, are you free? Not this weekend, but next. We're going to go to Houston. We're going to wash Uncle Glenn's house. We're going to make some money." I said, "All right, that sounds good. We're going to go." But I had to drive because, he couldn't drive on the interstate or in Houston traffic or didn't feel comfortable. So we set about, put the plans in motion, and we loaded up everything in the trailer, in the house washing trailer. And we get on the road. I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday morning. But I knew he never drove fast as soon as I got on the interstate with his trailer, because I would get to 40 miles an hour and that trailer was going straight. I couldn't even get I'd have to back down on the gas, slow down about 45, and I would speed up to 55, and that trailer was going straight. I would go back to Paul's just sitting there whistling. Going about his business. And about an hour and a half into the trip, we come across a sign, and it's Jennings 2 miles. Look at the car. This is not the work before we're never going to make it to Houston. All morning, people are flying by. So we pulled off the interstate to Jennings, had to take 90 back, and we loaded up everything in the house, everything that was in the house washing trailer, put it behind the truck. We drove over there, we made it, and we washed 3 big houses in 2 days. Again, I was probably 20 years old. He was 73, and I don't think I washed the 3rd house. I think I slept in it. If wealth was measured in food, Papa would definitely be a billionaire today. Whether you were sick, you called. He cooked anybody a chicken broth. He wasn't greedy with his wealth. I'm pretty sure everybody in here has eaten some of his food. We all loved it. One of the family favorites was an egg sandwich. Everybody went in the morning. If you told him you'd be there at 5:30 before work, my dad told me stories. Billy told me stories yesterday. Todd, myself, you show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he had you an egg sandwich every day. If you told him you would be there, he would cook it. If he would probably stack the egg sandwiches up that he cooked all his life, he can probably have one for breakfast in the morning. Sunday lunch. We will miss Sunday lunch. The food was great. We were there every Sunday. It was like a cattle line. You walk through the front door, you take the right, you go right down. There's the rice, there's the stove. You make the corner. There was all the beans and potatoes that you can imagine, homemade macaroni and cheese. If you keep on going to the end, there was dessert. There was the dessert. And whenever I was there Thursday morning, there was something very familiar happening, and I never realized how often it happened or how much I did it myself. Just standing there watching everybody come in. I did it as soon as I walked in, but I didn't realize. And Billy gets there, and he walks in and walks up walks straight to the icebox, and he opens the icebox and looks inside. He leaves, Ty gets there, he walks straight to the icebox, he looks inside. Joseph walks inside, he walks straight up to the icebox, looks in the icebox, and looks inside. I think we all did that. The only way I can explain it, and we've been doing it for years, is, you know, think of it as a treasure chest sitting in the middle of a room. You had to open it up to find the gold inside. You would open it up, and my mom would just say, "What you looking for?" And you'd just say, "I don't know." I was standing there in the corner right past the stove, right where I would get the cornmeal chew and the mashed potatoes. Something was very unfamiliar, and I could smell pizza. I've never had pizza in Paul's house. If I was in that area, you smelled home-cooked food, and it was a very familiar area to me because it was right there at the spot. I already had my rice, my meat, my gravy, my cornmeal chew, my mashed potatoes, and then I had to look at the homemade macaroni and cheese and decide either I'm going to put it on top of all this food or I'm going to plate it there. But if he could have said something Thursday, he would have probably told Billy all his cooking secrets. He would have let him know all the secrets of cooking. He would have asked me if I wanted a jar of Molotovs, which I would take back to Houston, even though I have 5 in my pantry. I imagine he would have told Nanny how to fix Maman's coffee with the right cream and sugar. He would have told his kids how much he loved them. He would have told Mama how much he loved her.